What if I told you that those crunchy brown leaves choking your yard right now are actually disguised gold bars? And in the next 8 weeks, you could transform that worthless pile into black magic that'll make your neighbors stop and stare at your garden like it's some kind of botanical wonderland. No fancy equipment, no spending a dime, just nature doing what it does best. When you know the secret rhythm. Hey there, garden friends. Welcome back to Earthly Gardening, where we turn common sense into extraordinary results without emptying your wallet. If you're new here, you've just stumbled into a community that believes the best things in gardening are usually free and hiding in plain sight. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's turn some garden trash into treasure together. Before we dive into this leaf transformation magic, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button if you're tired of buying expensive soil amendments, and hit subscribe so you never miss our budget-friendly garden secrets. Trust me, your future garden self will thank you. All right, let's get into it. So here's the deal. Every autumn, millions of people bag up their fallen leaves, haul them to the curb, and wave goodbye to what's essentially free fertilizer. Meanwhile, they're heading to the garden center spending 20, 30, even $50 on bags of compost that's basically, you guessed it, decomposed leaves and organic matter. Wild, right? But here's what most folks don't realize. Those crispy brown leaves aren't just future compost. They're a complete nutrient package with a built-in blueprint for becoming the most incredible growing medium your plants have ever experienced. The catch? You've got to wake them up properly. The problem setup. Now, you've probably tried this before. You piled up some leaves in a corner, maybe watered them once or twice, and then 6 months later you came back to find pretty much the same pile of leaves, just wetter and sadder. I get it. I've been there too. That's because everybody skips the activation phase. They treat leaf transformation like it's some passive waiting game when really it's more like conducting an orchestra. You need the right players, the right timing, and the right rhythm. The science made simple. Here's what's actually happening when leaves break down correctly. Inside every dried leaf are these tiny powerhouses called microorganisms. Think of them as nature's construction crew. But here's the thing, they're sleeping, dormant, waiting for the right conditions to wake up and start their demolition and rebuilding project. These microscopic workers need 3 things to throw the ultimate decomposition party: carbon, nitrogen, and moisture. Your dry leaves? They're absolutely loaded with carbon. That's the brown, crunchy energy source. But carbon alone is like trying to start a fire with just paper and no kindling. It'll sit there forever doing nothing. That's where nitrogen comes in. Nitrogen is the protein shake that gets your microbial crew pumped up and ready to work. And moisture? That's the swimming pool where all the action happens. Get these 3 elements dancing together in the right proportions, and you'll witness brown leaves transform into dark, crumbly, sweet-smelling soil that your plants will literally grow twice as fast in. The 60-day method revealed. All right, let's break down this 60-day transformation system. I'm calling it the layer and launch method because we're basically building a biological engine that runs itself. Step 1. Location matters. First up, pick your spot wisely. You want somewhere with partial shade. Not full blazing sun that'll dry everything out, and not deep shade where things stay too cold. Think of Goldilocks. Just right. A corner of your yard near a fence or under a tree canopy works perfectly. You also want decent drainage. Standing water will turn your leaf pile into a swampy mess instead of rich soil. Step 2. Build your foundation layer. Start with about 6 inches of dry leaves. Don't pack them down. Just let them settle naturally. This creates air pockets, which are crucial because your microorganisms need to breathe. Without oxygen, you get stinky anaerobic decomposition. With oxygen, you get that earthy, forest floor smell we're after. Step 3. Add the nitrogen punch. Here's where the magic ingredient comes in. For every 6-inch layer of brown leaves, you're going to add a 2-inch layer of nitrogen-rich material. Now, what counts as nitrogen-rich? Fresh grass clippings are pure gold. Kitchen scraps like fruit peels, vegetable trimmings, and coffee grounds work beautifully. Even weeds you've pulled from your garden beds. Some folks use manure if they have access to it, but honestly, grass clippings and kitchen waste are usually easier to come by and work just as well. Here's a pro tip that most tutorials won't tell you. Crush up those dry leaves before you layer them. You don't need a fancy shredder. Just run over them with your lawnmower a few times. Smaller pieces mean more surface area for your microbes to attack, which speeds everything up dramatically. Step 4. The moisture sweet spot. Now we're going to water this pile, but not like you're watering plants. We want it damp like a wrung-out sponge. Grab a handful of your mixture and squeeze it. If water drips out, too wet. If it feels dusty, too dry. If it clumps together but no water comes out, perfect. This is actually the step where most people mess up. They either flood the pile, turning it into a soggy disaster, or they barely sprinkle it, leaving the core bone dry. Take your time here. Water thoroughly. Let it soak in, then water again. You're hydrating every layer evenly. Step 5. Repeat the symphony. Keep building these alternating layers. 6 inches of leaves, 2 inches of nitrogen, water, repeat, until your pile is about 3 to 4 feet tall. Any shorter and it won't generate enough heat. Any taller and the bottom layers get compressed and lose their airflow. The turning schedule. Now here's where your 60-day timeline comes into play. Most compost guides tell you to turn your pile every week or 2. That's fine for regular compost, but we're running an accelerated program here. On day 3, you're going to notice something incredible. Stick your hand into the center of that pile, and it'll feel warm. Not just warm, hot. Like bathwater hot. That's your microbial army waking up and getting to work. This heat spike is exactly what we want. On day 7, do your first turn. This means using a pitchfork or shovel to move the outside material to the inside and the inside material to the outside. It's like shuffling a deck of cards. This redistribution ensures everything gets equal time in the hot zone where decomposition happens fastest. Turn again on day 14. By now, you'll notice those leaves are already starting to break down. They won't be crispy anymore. They'll feel softer, darker, and the pile will have shrunk a bit. Day 21. Another turn. Check your moisture levels while you're at it. If things feel dry, add water. If it's too wet, leave the pile open to air out for a day before reassembling it. Day 30. Turn number 4. At this point, you're probably not even recognizing your original materials anymore. Everything's blending into this beautiful dark mixture. Day 45, your second to last turn. Most of your transformation is complete now. You're just fine-tuning the texture. Day 60, final turn and assessment. What you're looking for is material that's dark brown to almost black, crumbly, with an earthy smell like a forest after rain. You shouldn't be able to identify individual leaves anymore. If you can, give it one more week and another turn. Speaking of transformations, if this method is already blowing your mind, go ahead and drop a comment below telling me what you're planning to grow in this liquid gold soil. Are you thinking about tomatoes, flowers, maybe a whole raised bed garden? I read every single comment and I love hearing about your garden dreams. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're building a community of smart gardeners who work with nature instead of fighting against it. Troubleshooting common issues. Now, let's talk about what to do when things don't go exactly as planned. Because let's be real. Gardening is part science, part art, and part rolling with whatever nature throws at you. If your pile isn't heating up after a week, you've got a nitrogen problem. Add more grass clippings or kitchen scraps. Give it a good watering, and turn it thoroughly. That should kickstart the process. If your pile smells like ammonia or rotten eggs, you've got too much nitrogen and not enough airflow. Turn it immediately. Add more dry leaves or even shredded newspaper to soak up excess moisture. And don't water it again until it dries out a bit. If you see lots of ants or pill bugs, don't panic. They're actually helpful decomposers. But if you're seeing them in huge numbers, your pile might be too dry. Add moisture and that'll balance things out. The harvest and use. Once you hit that 60-day mark and your material passes the test, it's ready to use. But here's a bonus tip. Screen it through a 1/2-inch mesh if you want really fine material for seed starting. The coarser stuff that doesn't pass through, throw it back into your next leaf pile. It's already colonized with all those beneficial microorganisms, which means it'll jumpstart your next batch even faster. Use this finished product anywhere you'd use store-bought compost. Mix it 50-50 with your existing garden soil for raised beds. Spread it 2 inches thick around established plants as mulch. Blend it into a potting mix for containers. Honestly, your plants won't even know what hit them. They'll explode with growth because you've just given them the nutritional equivalent of a 5-star buffet. Here's what really gets me excited about this whole process. You're not just saving money, though that's definitely a sweet bonus. You're closing a loop. Those leaves fell from trees that pulled nutrients from deep in the ground. They're packed with trace minerals and organic compounds. By composting them instead of trashing them, you're keeping that fertility in your local ecosystem instead of shipping it off to a landfill where it'll produce methane and contribute to climate problems. Plus, soil made this way has something commercial compost often lacks: biodiversity. Because you're composting in the open air, in your own yard, beneficial fungi, bacteria, and other microorganisms from your local environment colonize the pile. This means when you add it to your garden, you're inoculating your soil with perfectly adapted local biology. It's like giving your garden a probiotic boost. Before we wrap up, here are 3 final insider tricks that'll take your leaf composting from good to absolutely phenomenal. Number 1. Save a bucket of your finished compost as a starter culture for your next batch. Mix a few handfuls into each new pile you start. This is like adding yeast to bread dough. It speeds up the whole process by introducing proven decomposers right from the start. Number 2. If you don't have enough leaves from your own yard, ask your neighbors. Seriously, most people are thrilled to have someone haul away their leaves. You might even become the neighborhood hero who saves everyone from bagging duty. Number 3. Start multiple piles on a rotation. If you begin a new pile every 2 weeks, you'll have finished compost arriving like clockwork throughout the growing season. It's like having your own soil production factory running in the backyard. So there you have it, friends. The complete roadmap for turning those free autumn leaves into premium growing soil in just 60 days. No mysterious ingredients, no expensive equipment, just simple biology working the way it's been working for millions of years. Remember, every bag of leaves you transform is money saved, plastic kept out of landfills, and fertility added to your garden ecosystem. That's what I call a triple win. If you found this valuable, make sure you're subscribed because next week we're diving into how to use this amazing compost to double your vegetable yields without adding any synthetic fertilizers. You won't want to miss it. Until then, get those piles started and I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening!